Lastly, alam mo minsan, nasa Shangri-La ako, nakita ko si Ann Curtis. Ang ganda-ganda pala niya. You know, may desire sa loob ko na nag-init talaga. At na-imagine ko na lang kung anong pwedeng mangyari. Pero siyempre, hanggang imagination na lang yon. Pero, di naman siguro ako pwedeng kasuhan dahil kung ano-ano yung na-imagine ko eh. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
Strike from the record.
The Honorable Zamora.
Madam Chair, I would like to have those statements stricken from the record.
Madam
There
Chair,
is
happy
nothing
Women's Month, Madam Chair.
sexual dun sa sinabi ko. Nothing immoral. It's just, I said, may na-imagine ako. I think there is nothing wrong.
Nevertheless, Madam
Madam
Chair,
Chair.
I want that deleted in the record.
Let the chair say it for the third time. With 13 votes in the affirmative, 2 in the negative, and 2 abstention, the chair orders that the earlier manifestation of the Honorable Sontay be stricken out from the record. So ordered.
Madam Chair, manifestation.
Now you're allowed to make a manifestation.
I think we are starting a dangerous precedent because now we are censoring manifestations which is neither illegal or immoral. So imagine we are conducting a hearing, but now statements which are neither immoral or illegal can be stricken out of the record without any reason. I think that's a terrible
Madam
precedent we
Chair.
are starting.
SEC is directed to play the video chronologically, beginning with January 24, 2024 video and ending with October 18, 2024. This is a total of 4 videos. Kindly play.
Mga kaigsunan ko, padayon nato nga mahalon ang atuang nasod. Mga kababayan, patuloy nating mahalin ang ating bayan. Mabuhay kayo, mabuhay ang Pilipinas.
Mr. President, pinilit ninyo kami. Kayo yung kinikit sa Bisaya, kinikitoy mo yung Pilipino. You are testing the waters, not even. You are, pushing to the limits ang pasensya ng Pilipino. Huwag mong gawin yan. Huwag mong gawin yan, huwag mong ituloyan tayo magkagulo. Pag hindi namin napilitan kayo sa mga rallies, sa aming mga boses at sentimento namin, ako'y sinasabi ko sa military, nag-hemorrhage ang bayan, gastos dito ng gastos doon. Tapos kung mag-space, ang pinag-usapan ang putang inang pobreng Pilipino. Gastos dito, gastos doon. Mga military, maawa kayo sa bayan. Pag hindi namin kaya, gawin na ninyo. Gawin ninyo, kawawa ang Pilipino.
Yes, Dante, good evening.
Good evening, Harleen. In today's prayer rally conducted by the Sunshine Media Network International, or SMNI, and supporters of religious group leader Apollo Kibuloy, some former and incumbent government officials have attended the program. Vice President Sara Duterte arrived first, though she did not speak or give a message before the crowd. Before 8 o'clock tonight, former President Rodrigo Duterte arrived here at Diwasang Bonifacio in Manila. With him are Senators Christopher Lawrence Bongo, Ronald De La Rosa, and Robin Hood Padilla. Former presidential spokesman Harry Roque and former Chief Presidential Legal Counsel Salvador Panelo also arrived earlier. Senator De La Rosa said they came over to show support to Kibuloy. Meanwhile, former President Duterte urged the public to be vigilant, especially that the Marcos administration is allegedly now trying to amend the Constitution. Duterte said the current regime's main objective is to extend their term through charter change. He also emphasized that if any provision of the Constitution will be touched, the whole Constitution itself is now open for amendment. And that's our latest live from Manila. Back to you, Harleen.
Thank you, Dante Amento.
Vice President Sara Duterte will not attend the third State of the Nation address of President Bongbong Marcos on July 22. In an ambushed interview on Thursday, July 11, Duterte says she will skip this year's SONA. She also names herself the designated survivor.
No. No, I will not attend the SONA. I am appointing myself as the designated survivor.
A designated survivor is a U.S. government official chosen to stay at a secure location during events where top leaders are gathered. This ensures continuity of government in case a catastrophic event kills or incapacitates the president, vice president, and other top officials. There is no such position yet in the Philippines.
Well, nandun lang ako, nakakatayo ako doon kasi may gamot ako. Gusto ko tanggalin yung ulo niya ba? I realized toxic na yung relationship. And it did not help na itong dalawang katabi ko, tumawa pa. Pinagtawanan pa nila yung bata. And I saw the humiliation sa face ng bata. I wanted to help him. Gusto ko sabihin sa kanya, itong relo ko na lang, relo ito ng Vice President, ito relo ng Presidente, pero I hope this will do. And then I realized na baka mas lalong mapahiya yung bata if I do that. So I just imagined myself cutting his head. Gusto ko, ganun din ang gusto ko gawin doon sa mga katabi ko. So na-realize ko, toxic na ito.
When was that, ma'am?
One of the graduation, hanapin niyo yung footage, makikita niyo doon yung muka ko. Tsaka muka niya. I-lip read niyo yung sinasabi niya. Why?
You were in high school graduate, ma'am?
Honorable po?
Madam Chair, so again, since we were able to play these videos, we better understand the context of what had happened, what was said, and it is up to the committee to decide whether or not this is sufficient in substance. We are not debating whether or not there are grounds for impeachment yet. It's more of whether or not there's substance in what was submitted. And what we have is that she did attend those rallies and that she did make these statements. And so with regards to sufficiency and substance, it does seem that these are all included in the impeachment complaint.
Madam Chair?
The Honorable Suntay first, and then the Honorable Rodriguez.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Well, as we could see, based on the videos, lalong-lalo na yung una, statement ni BP Sara doon, patuloy natin mahalin ang ating bayan, which is very telling ang kanyang disposition. Yung mga ibang videos, hindi ko na explain because I will not be able to explain it anymore because I cannot explain it better than how my esteemed colleague Rufus Rodriguez explained it. Baka masira ko lang yung explanation niya kung tutulungan ko dahil maganda na yung explanation niya. Well, then dadako na lang tayo sa culpable violation of the Constitution. In the context of the Philippine Constitution and the ongoing 2026 impeachment proceedings, this proceeding, culpable violation of the Constitution is a high legal bar. It is not just about breaking the law, it is about a specific guilty breach of the fundamental law of the land. Kung ang pagbabasihan natin, yung mga pinakitang video, I don't think we will see any fundamental breach. The key word here is culpable, which implies a degree of perversity or guilt to commit this offense. The official must have acted with a deliberate intent to disregard the Constitution, which I believe is non-existing. Kung dadako naman tayo sa sedition at sasabihin natin, hindi, seditious yung mga ginawa kahit na nakita naman natin na hindi. Ang mahalagang tanong sa batas ay hindi lang kung nagpunta sa rally, nanood, o may nasabi ang isang opisyal. Ang importante ay kung may aktual na ginawa o inutusan na illegal na gawain. Kung ang allegation ay nakabase lamang sa mga speech, sa rally at mga statements, political rhetoric, I don't think that it is seditious. Alam ng mga kaibigan natin sa Makabayan yan, madalas silang mag-attend ng rally eh. Pero kung salita lang at wala naman silang gagawing aktwal, then that is covered by their freedom of speech and is not seditious. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you. At this point, we recognize the Honorable Rodriguez.
We thank the Honorable Brian Poe because it's clearer now, based on the footage, that the Vice President did not in any way call to arms our people to rise against the government. On the contrary, love our country. Because sedition, Madam Chair, as stated here under this particular ground that the Vice President committed sedition. Sedition is committed, Madam Chair, by inciting through speech. No, we never heard any speech there. Writing or action, revolt or insurrection against established government authority, nothing. So therefore, the first allegation that the Vice President destabilized the government has incited sedition is not, or insurrection, because in that rally, even the President, former President Duterte, was just saying, do not do all these things. Do not spend this or that on, don't do these things. And very clearly, VP Sara did not speak there. So that's the first one. So therefore, how can there be an action for sedition? Next, Sara took part in the prayer. Yes, she was seen there in the prayer with Kibuloy, but she did not issue malicious statements to malign the legitimacy of the president. Nothing in that particular section 11, section 111. Third, designated survivor. That is precisely in the American law and made into a movie. Ayun. So that is something that is not a basis for impeachment. And then itong fourth, apologize to the members of the Kibuloy Church. Well, she can say that kasi may political riff na nga eh. That she therefore for campaigning and running with the president. That is her opinion after the falling out. And lastly, yung sinabi doon niya sa interview, well, this is, coming out from political noise and political passion na gusto kong tanggalin, desire, and then I imagine myself imagining. So all of these are all on desire and imaginations. Nothing actual, nothing that is clearly impeachable. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Rodriguez. The Honorable Flores.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I just would like the endorser to clarify na based on the statements also made by Congressman Rufus na taken individually, totoo na parang wala ngang inciting to sedition or seditious statements that were made. Pero taken together as a whole, di ba? Parang meron din eh. May foul din, no? Why would you be present in all these actions calling for this and that? No, but that's if we take it all together or collectively or as a whole, no? I would like to hear the comment of the endorser.
Thank you, Madam
Honorable
Chair.
De Lima.
Yes, context is very important. So we cannot just deal with this based on the individual allegations, but the totality of it all. We cannot just downplay the presence of VP Sara dun sa mga rallies na yon na clearly ay naghihikayat tungkol sa yung continued existence of this government, of the president. Kasi nga, in those rallies, she never disowned, she never detached herself from those statements. Also, yung sa designated survivor, it's clearly galing po sa kanya yun. Hindi lang po ito interpretation ng media or interpretation of anyone else, but she herself says that she is a designated survivor. Anong ibig sabihin kapag dinedesignate mo ang sarili mo as a survivor? Na parang ang wish niya ay may mangyayari, and ganun din sa decapitation. It's not a simple expression of a wish. It is also a threat. And it goes to the stability of government na meron siyang mga sinasabi, meron din siyang mga sinasaluhan na mga activities at mga rally na she was not detaching herself. Hindi niya dinidisown na yun ang mga sinasabi in those rallies. So you're correct, the Honorable Flores is correct, that this has to be taken in totality, the circumstances, those incidents. And the context is really very important in scrutinizing this particular ground. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Nasal first,
Short
and then
manifestation.
Padiernos, and then Suntay.
Madam Chair, allow me to put on record my observations on this sixth ground based on what we've seen based on the videos. The cited allegations do not on their face constitute impeachable offenses under Article 11, Section 2 of the Constitution. First, the statements attributed to the Vice President. Wala naman ho siya halos sinabi except for the last video na pinakita na parang yun na nga, parang she was speaking kung ano yung iniisip niya. No? Sinasabi lang po niya yung iniisip niya. Even if harsh or provocative, fall within the realm of political speech. To amount to rebellion or incitement, there must be a clear and direct call to imminent unlawful action. The complaint does not establish such imminent intent or overt acts. Second, mere participation in rallies or association with certain individuals is not unlawful. Guilt by association is not a constitutional ground for impeachment. The complainants must show personal commission of impeachable acts. For these reasons, the allegations rely on rhetoric and political characterization rather than specific willful acts that clearly constitute culpable violation of the Constitution, high crimes, or betrayal of public trust. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. The Honorable Padiernos.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I just have a few questions for our endorser.
Yes,
Because-
the endorser is willing to respond.
For our sixth ground, it is anchored on acts of political destabilization and high crimes of sedition and insurrection. So, sa batas po natin, these are, una-una po, political destabilization. That's quite vague. Wala po yan sa batas natin. And it's not self-defining. As to sedition and insurrection, they fall under the revised penal code. And as mentioned a while ago, pag revised penal code crimes po, kailangan po may criminal intent. I would just like to get the position of our endorser about sa lahat po ng sinabi ng ating impeachable officer. Can she point out ano po yung that would show there is criminal intent? Because nakikita ko po yung usapan nagagaling si Kong Rufus Rodriguez. I see Honorable Rodriguez. We have to know first. Yun muna po. Gusto ko muna po malaman from our endorser.
Boldelima.
Unang-una po, kagaya po ng sinabi ko kanina, nandun siya sa rally na yon na hinikayat ng dating Pangulo yung pag-withdraw ng military ng support sa administrasyong ito. Hindi niya yon tinanggi, hindi niya dinisown. Ang tawag po dyan is adoptive admission. Now, these statements are aimed at destabilization. When you call for a withdrawal of support, especially from the military, and she is the Vice President, hindi po pwedeng sasabihin na hindi ako mismo yung nagsabi noon. She was present there. She did not detach herself from it. She did not disown it. She did not do or say anything about it. She is the Vice President. Destabilization po ito. And then coupled with yung iba pang na mga actuations niya, yung pagde-designate designated survivor. And then yung threaten, yung wish expression, a clear and blatant expression of a wish to decapitate the president. Doesn't those circumstances aimed at destabilizing the administration, and therefore it is an assault on the constitutional order? The intent is there. When you threaten to decapitate, when you say that you are the designated survivor, and therefore, pwede nating itugma-tugma yung mga ganyang actuations at pananalita ng ni VP Sara, dun sa attempt or the fact of destabilization, attempting, inciting to sedition, yung ini-interrupt yung orderly workings of government, dun sa mga ganong irresponsible na pananalita, yung ganong active presence in rallies, in activities that show, that manifest those destabilization attempt. So yun po ang aking posisyon. Meron po siya na mga circumstances, the acts and language to say or to prove that she aims to destabilize this government.
Honorable Padiernos.
So, Madam Chair, it would appear that the endorsers mainly anchoring the supposed statements sa destabilization and not the sedition and insurrection. Kasi very strict po yan. Clear po yan sa ating revised penal code and under our jurisprudence, yung mga elements po ng mga crime na yun. But nevertheless, I would just like to make
Madam Chair, just to...
Let us wait until
thank you.
Kong Padiernos is finished with his manifestation.
I would just like to make a manifestation, quick manifestation as to ground 6. So, in determining if the ground 6 should be, it constitutes an impeachable offense, the committee must test sedition and insurrection against statutory elements. The sufficiency inquiry is whether the complaint pleads specific acts beyond generalized political statements that satisfy those elements and are attributable to the respondent. So, I would just like to tell our committee members in deciding whether this ground should be constituting an impeachable offense. Na tingnan po natin kung talagang may elements that constitute that crime. So yun lang po, Madam Chair, and maraming salamat po.
The Honorable De Lima would like to respond to the manifestation of Honorable Padiernos.
Yes, just to point out the fact that it's not only destabilization, it's inciting to sedition. And she was present there. She did not do anything. She did not disown it. That is the principle of adoptive admission. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. The Honorable Suntay.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Whether individually or collectively, looking at all the videos shown, there can be nothing seditious that can be attributed to the Vice President. In fact, there is nothing for her to denounce, no statements to denounce. Because we cannot attribute statements made by other people to the Vice President just because she was there. Then we have to do it with everyone who is there. Lahat na lang ng present. Sabihin natin, we should attribute that statement. So, mere presence in the rally does not make her actions seditious. That is very clear. Alam mo, yung tama naman yung sinabi ni Kong Rufus, yung statement as being the designated survivor. It's not illegal, it's not criminal. In fact, it's a process in the United States. Mere utterance na I'm designating myself. In fact, hindi nga pwede yun. Can you designate yourself without a process? Sinabi lang niya yun. Siguro magpapatawa lang siya. And lastly, alam mo minsan, nasa Shangri-La ako, nakita ko si Ann Curtis. Ang ganda-ganda pala niya. May desire sa loob ko na nag-init talaga. At na-imagine ko na lang kung anong pwedeng mangyari. Pero siyempre, hanggang imagination na lang yon. Pero, di naman siguro ako pwedeng kasuhan dahil kung ano-ano yung na-imagine ko Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
The Honorable Zamora.
Madam Chair, I would like to have those statements stricken from the record.
Madam
There
Chair,
is
Happy
nothing
Women's Month, Madam Chair.
sexual dun sa sinabi ko. Nothing immoral. It's just, I said, may na-imagine ako. I think there is nothing wrong.
Nevertheless, Madam Chair, I want that deleted in the record.
Can the chair hear the proper motion towards
I
striking
make a
out
motion,
from the
Madam
record?
Chair.
Honorable Zamora.
Madam Chair, I move to strike those statements from the record.
Objection, Madam Chair.
There is a motion to strike out from the record the earlier manifestation of the Honorable Suntay about his imagination upon seeing Ann Curtis. Do I hear a second?
I second.
Second,
Same
Madam
has
Chair.
been seconded. Is there any objection? The same has been objected to. Let us now divide the House. Those who are in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand.
Are we seriously?
You may put down your hands. Those who are not in favor, please raise your right hand. Those who abstain, please raise your right hand.
Just a short manifestation, Madam Chair. I just want to put on record that we cannot censure
The Honorable
anything which
Suntay is
illegal,
enjoined
which is
from
not
further
illegal
making
or
manifestation
immoral.
until we resolve the motion. Order, please. With a vote of 13 in the affirmative and 2 in the negative, 2 in the negative, 0 abstain. Meron? I will say it again. With 13 votes in the affirmative, 2 in the negative, and 0 abstention, let the chair say it for the third time. With 13 votes in the affirmative, 2 in the negative, and 2 abstention, the chair orders that the earlier manifestation of the Honorable Suntay be stricken out from the record. So ordered.
Madam Chair, manifestation.
Now you're allowed to make a manifestation.
I think we are starting a dangerous precedent because now we are censoring manifestations which is neither illegal or immoral. So imagine we are conducting a hearing, but now statements which are neither immoral or illegal can be stricken out of the record without any reason. I think that's a terrible
Madam
precedent
Madam Chair.
starting.
The Honorable
Thank you.
Zamora.
With all due respect to my friend, Congressman Bong Suntay, it is just the start of the Women's Month. And I don't think that we should be hearing such comments from our dear colleagues. We are not censuring anything, but we are reminding them that, in fact, we should support women by not saying these statements. Next week, Madam Chair, for the record, I'll be attending the UN conference on the Commission, 70th Commission on the Status of Women. This is, I'm sorry, Madam Chair, I just wanted to say this. And this is about removing structural barriers to women's empowerment. And things like this do not empower women. Thank you, Madam Chair.
The chair
Yes.
would like to state that if the manifestation of the justice member offends the sensitivity of the justice members, then it means that we are crossing the boundaries already.
Madam Chair.
After all, we rule here by the judgment of the justice members. So I hope we respect the decision of the majority of the Justice Committee.
Madam Chair, just for clarity, there are two words which was uttered. I want to know, which was offensive? The word desire or the word imagination?
Madam Chair, point of order, Madam.
The Honorable Suntai is reminded that
Point of order, Madam Chair. Point of
as
order.
to whether or not the manifestation is indeed
No, because
suggestive
I just
of
want to know what is
immorality.
being...
Order, please. The
Point
chair
of order.
is addressing the committee.
I'm raising a point of order, Madam Chair, on the basis that...
Please let the chair finish with her statement. As to whether or not the manifestation of the Honorable Suntai is offensive of our morality is a judgment that belongs exclusively to the justice members. I think the majority have spoken already.
Madam
The
Chair,
Honorable Adjong is
Thank you, Madam
recognized.
Chair. I'm raising a point of order on the basis that the issue has already been acted upon by the committee. The committee decided to delete and strike the portion of the statement of Congressman Swansing from the record. So let's proceed. Let's move forward.
Madam Chair,
There's
I
no
am
point of-
manifestation
there's
is
no point of
noted.
dilly-dallying the process by going back to the issue that has already been acted by the committee. So that is my point of order.
Madam Chair,
Honorable
point of order
Suntai.
also. I am not questioning that the statement was stricken out. I am asking so that next time I would be more careful. If it is desire, I will never use desire in this committee. If it is imagination, then I will not use it also. Just for clarity, clarification purposes. Dahil baka yung iba yung gumamit, di ba? Dapat they should be forewarned also. So that's why I'm asking.
To conclude our discussion on the
There was
earlier
a
manifestation of the Honorable Suntai, the Honorable Adjong is correct. The same has been ruled upon, and let us all be reminded, it is the majority that rules in this committee. Let us conclude the discussion on that manifestation.
Madam Chair,
Is this a new matter?
this is going back to what we were discussing earlier, not going to this issue about
Does this not
imagination.
pertain to the manifestation that has been stricken out already
It
from
does
the
not
record?
pertain to it at all, Madam Chair.
The Honorable Po is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just going back to the issue at hand and discussing the substance of the impeachment complaint, I want to ask the sponsor of this measure whether or not the presence or the absence of a high-ranking individual is a statement in and of itself.
Honorable De Lima. The question is whether or not the presence of the high-ranking official in those gatherings is her statement itself.
Well, it's adoptive admission because she did not deny, she did not detach herself from those statements as a high-ranking public official. She knows the impact, the effect, the consequences of statements like that. So her mere presence is concurrence with what has been stated or what has occurred in those rallies. I so submit, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any other manifestation from the justice members?
I have a question. Madam Chair.
Honorable Po.
Madam Chair, if, because it may be argued that it was a coincidence that she attended the first event, and that such statements were made during the event. However, she did attend a second event. Would continually attending events which make similar statements, would it constitute an agreement towards the aforementioned statements?
It would, because it refers to similar statements. So again, not doing anything, not saying anything, after hearing it from the first activity, from the first rally, would be her concurrence with the very essence of those statements. Thank you.
Honorable Po.
Because I would like to point out that if it's whether or not she actually made statements at these rallies, my colleagues are correct. She didn't make any statements verbally. However, if it's a question of whether or not her mere presence and continually attending similar events and not mentioning whether she's for or against what's happening in these events is a statement in and of itself. That's a different argument altogether. So I just want to point out that the context of everything we're discussing and the timeline is also very important in determining whether or not this ground has substance.
Honorable De Lima, would you like to make further comment to that?
No more, Your Honor. I concur with those remarks of that position about the context and the timing. Thank
All
you.
right. If there are no more manifestations coming from the justice members, then this is the conclusion of our deliberation on the sixth ground. Will the endorser be interested to add to her manifestation before we end our deliberation on the third impeachment complaint?
Yes, Madam Chair. Just,
Yes, please.
just
You
a
are
brief
recognized. You may
summation.
proceed.
So at this juncture, having deliberated on all 6 grounds, let us return to the only question that matters at this stage. The only question before this committee is whether this verified complaint recites ultimate facts, which, if hypothetically admitted as true, constitute impeachable offenses under Article 11 of the Constitution. The complaint, under certain grounds, specifies amounts, hundreds of millions in confidential funds. It alleges concrete acts, cash withdrawals, certifications, liquidation reports, audit findings, and disallowances. It cites sworn testimonies and references constitutional duties of accountability, transparency, and fidelity to public trust. It even recounts public admissions of extraordinary gravity. These are not vague accusations, not sweeping conclusions. These are detailed factual allegations supported by annexes, audit findings, certifications, and sworn testimonies were part of the record. And these are that can be taken cognizance of and can still be proven later during the evidentiary stage. Section 5 requires only a recital of facts constituting the offense charged. That standard has been met. The question is whether the Constitution allows us to turn away when a verified complaint alleges specific amounts, specific acts, specific certifications, specific audit findings, specific fictitious documents, sworn testimonies, and public admissions that, if true, fall squarely within the grounds of culpable violation of the Constitution, graft and corruption, bribery, other high crimes, and betrayal of public trust. If we dismiss such allegations without allowing the constitutional process to proceed, then impeachment becomes meaningless. Ulitin ko lang po, ang impeachment ito nagaganap ngayon ay hindi po ito parusa. Ito ay mekanismo ng pananagutan. To declare this complaint insufficient despite the ultimate facts pleaded would be to raise the threshold beyond what the Constitution and the rules require, and that, with due respect, we cannot do. So I humbly, firmly, and strongly submit that the third complaint, the Reverend Father Sabalia et al. Complaint, is sufficient in substance. Thank you.
That concludes our deliberation on the sufficiency in substance of the third impeachment complaint. For lack of material time, we will be suspending until tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the morning, and tomorrow we will be holding our deliberation on the fourth impeachment complaint, and after that, we will be proceeding to vote on the sufficiency in substance, one after the other, of these 2 impeachment complaints. Thank you, everyone. The meeting is suspended.